All right, we're going to try a new kind of segment here. Ivan and I both know what we know about Wilmington, but we're experts, I would say, on our little areas of Wilmington.
Exactly.
But we've invited on the show a guy named Matt Sullivan, who some of you may know, who's much more of an expert about Wilmington. And we really want to ask him some very basic questions about Wilmington to start with.
Yeah, Matt is like the expert.
I might only be an expert in comparison. Let's be clear.
Yeah. So
That's not like my expert critique too.
Well, let's put it this way. I think that you will have an answer to this first question, which is, what actually is Wilmington?
Right.
Because a lot of people say
show.
they're in Wilmington.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they're in Wilmington, but they may not actually be in Wilmington proper. So what is Wilmington proper, and what does that mean?
Well, let me ask you a question. If you're at Panera on Concord Pike, are you in Wilmington?
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking no.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, right. No, you're not in Wilmington.
Okay, so where
You're
are
not
you?
in Wilmington. You're in Tallyville, but Tallyville doesn't really exist, right? There's no mayor of Tallyville. What you're in is unincorporated.
How can you tell me that Tallyville doesn't exist?
Because Delaware is full of places that don't exist.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
Bear doesn't exist, Price's Corner doesn't exist. Delaware is a land of made-up place names that are more kind of concepts of the mind than they are locations.
This sounds so scary right now.
If you want to start a fight, like get two people, like someone say, call Trolley Square 40 acres, and people will just go nuts. But okay.
Right.
So what you're in when you're in Concord Pike is unincorporated Newcastle County, and Wilmington is surrounded by it. Most of North Delaware is not a city. You have
Or a town.
Or a town.
Or a town.
Or
It just
or a
exists.
village.
It is just the county.
We
It's
just
just county
say
property.
village.
Even though some of them, so you have Wilmington, you have Newark, you have Middletown, those are the
Right.
big three. But most of what's between them doesn't have a city designation.
Gotcha.
And Wilmington itself is really, really small.
Right.
Just because your post office box, or just because your post office is Wilmington, just because it's in your address, does not mean you're in the city of Wilmington.
Now, what's the deal with that? Like, if I live in Greenville, am I in Wilmington?
No.
Okay, but if I'm in Greenville, I can put Wilmington in my address, or I can put Greenville in my
And
address.
it will get to you.
They'll
Because
find you.
basically
They'll
up
find
north you have Wilmington and Newark. And that's what Newcastle.
Wow.
Those are what things are addressed to. Those are the post office designations. But
So
you can't vote for
Newcastle has a
mayor.
mayor.
Newcastle has a mayor, but not what you think of as Newcastle. Only like historic Newcastle. There's 5,000 people that live in the city of Newcastle.
Right.
It's a tight urban core around it. It's the historic district.
Okay.
Newcastle, like out where I go to the McDonald's on Route 40?
Yeah.
That's not anything. That's unincorporated Newcastle County.
So these are just places. So do these places actually have borders? So let's say, like, where does Greenville become Centerville?
Right after
Like-
Delaware Avenue.
It depends on, it depends on what your realtor says, right? If the real estate values in Centerville are better than any part in Greenville, Centerville, if you can pretend it is.
Right.
Look, it's a place of mind. Where's Pike Creek? Where does Pike Creek and Hockessin begin? Where does Milltown start?
Right.
I mean, these places are just, they have cultural designations,
Right.
historic designations.
Right.
Some of them go really back, like Brandywine 100 is a plot of ground that was 100. That was how the area was originally split up. And there
Right.
are historical designations, but there's no modern municipality that is those things.
Do you know
Right.
how is it that the actual municipality, the city of Wilmington, didn't do what other cities have done and kind of annex the areas that are like immediately around them? Like, how did that? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I don't know the history. I mean, I know Middletown's done it. That's how Middletown's grown over the past years. They've annexed what was unincorporated Newcastle County around it, and they've grown in size to the size they are now.
They just
And
say,
that's
hey,
happened over the
we're
past couple
just
of
taking
decades.
this land and
Wilmington-
we're calling it Middletown.
It's kind of stuff you could get away with more in the past, and now there's so many more things, factors, taxation, other things like that. It makes it very complicated. For whatever reason, Wilmington didn't do it. So Wilmington, the city, is 70,000 people in a tight urban core around downtown Wilmington. And it is you are very quickly out of Wilmington proper as you're leaving town.
And that's to say that the mayor, he's governing that area right there, not Hockessin, not Greenville, and that's the county.
Not as close as Bellevue Park.
Right.
Not as close as, up Pennsylvania Avenue.
But let's say that Wilmington was a regular. Let's say that it had the normal amount of incorporation around it.
Yeah.
Would it be a city of 200,000, 300,000? Like like when we think of Wilmington and what people actually have in their mind of Wilmington,
Right.
is it really 70,000 people, or is it more like
Probably about 300 to 400,000.
3 to 400,000? So it's a much bigger city than
Yeah.
it would seem.
And it's
in
one of the
some
reasons
ways.
why metrics about Wilmington always get thrown off, because when people talk about, when we make the top 10 list or something, they're
Right.
talking about per capita within the 70,000 people. It's not including the larger area around it demographically.
Right.
They don't include that when they include those kind of things.
Right.
So most cities have a suburban area around the city that is part of that number.
we
Wilmington
don't.
doesn't. Wilmington doesn't.
We don't have that. We
Wow.
just have
So,
this
yeah.
tight area.
So.
So we're getting screwed
So
across
it's, so
the,
it's off the numbers.
land.
It's really hard to
We're getting
compare
screwed.
Yeah.
anything per capita, but like Baltimore or someplace like that has the suburbs as part of the city.
Right?
Nice.
Well, cool. Well, we're going to keep coming back to Matt Sullivan.
We gotta
for
bring
more
Matt.
and
We gotta
more-
keep
For
Matt.
more and more Wilmington facts, because he is an expert, whether or not he says he is. He's the closest thing we have.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Matt.
thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey guys, the YouTube algorithm requires that I tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. But I also wanted to tell you that if you have a Wilmington story that you want featured on the show, please submit it at stories.wilmington.love. We love to hear from you.